All right. Now, I thought this conversation here was really interesting. So, Ja Rule is on 7 p.m. in Brooklyn, which is Kazim and Carmelo Anthony's podcast. And so Ja Rule, for me personally, Ja Rule is just one of my favorite people to watch talk. I think there is a cognitive dissonance there that is endearing when it comes to a lot of things, but I also think that Ja Rule actually accomplished so much, and it's such a shame that his reputation has been destroyed after 50 Cent destroyed him in their battle 20 years ago, right? And so, but listening to him talk about anything is hilarious. My favorite thing to listen to him talk about is Fire Festival and the black card thing that he put out. Magnesis, I think his card was. Hip hop, minuscule and minute. 1 second applause, if you catch that reference. But this is actually a pretty interesting conversation here. I know that sometimes we can look at some battles and feel like they've been talked about to death. And Jay and Nas can fall into that category sometimes. 50 Cent and Ja Rule can fall into that category sometimes. But not for me, because I'm always interested in different nuances and different things that pop up in when it comes to seminal moments in hip hop. I just did a piece for Marvin Magazine that was really looks at the seminal moment that happened in 1999. Was it 1999? Maybe it's 2000. In 2000, when Lauryn Hill appeared on the cover of Time magazine, and it was called Hip Hop Nation. That was a seminal moment that began to define the next 25 years of hip hop. And so Ja Rule here is pointing out a few things when it comes to his battle with 50 Cent that I find really interesting in retrospect, just to think about and just to discuss a little bit. And so the first thing he says is that he thinks his songs aged better. He says some other things there, but I think that's what part of this tweet here, how they describe what he talks about. But let's take a look at this.
Somewhat, in your late 30s, early 40s, and you came up in 2003 and you saw the rise of Carmelo Anthony, who was always, tied to LeBron James in the 2003 class and everybody.
This is an interesting way that Kazim gets into this. Okay. He's using Carmelo Anthony as an example to say that people felt like they needed to pick a side between LeBron and Carmelo Anthony. And just like you have to pick a side of the street you want to stand on when there's sirens going on in the background, right? And he's using that to get Ja Rule to talk about 50 Cent again, but I guess bring it in a way that doesn't sound like the same introduction to the conversation that's been had over 20 years now. But I keep watching Carmelo Anthony's face here. He's just so stoic at this whole thing. Not in reaction to Kazim, I think, but just like, I don't know, something that stood out to me. 1 second applause.
Somewhat, in your late 30s, early 40s, and you came up in 2003 and you saw the rise of Carmelo Anthony, who was always, tied to LeBron James in the 2003 class and everybody in there.
Yeah.
When you come up with Ja Rule, you tie him to, 50 Cent and, and all these other things and the competition he had with him.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's always like you had to be a 50 guy or a Ja guy. You had to be a Mellow guy or a Bron guy.
But
right?
I didn't feel like you necessarily had to be a 50 guy or a Ja guy because Ja was so omnipresent in the beginning at that point in time. I mean, from Veni Vidi Vici, those first three projects, Rule 336, I can't remember the other one. But those first three projects, Pain is Love. Pain is Love, Rule 336, and Veni Vidi Vici were like huge projects at that point in time. And whether or not you really rocked with Ja Rule, it was hard to not appreciate what he was bringing to the table, particularly in the beginning, because he doesn't really get into the singing and the duets. He doesn't really lean so heavily into that style until his second and third project. In the beginning, Veni Vidi Vici was pretty just brolic street raps. That's an incredible project in my opinion. And even the features that he was doing when he was on Jay-Z's Volume 2. I think one of the things that happened to Ja Rule that 50 Cent exploited heavily in the battle was he got so locked into his singing songs with Lil Mo and with Ashanti and with J-Lo. And so it started feeling like he was doing the same thing all the time. And in that sense, there's that part of Ja Rule's history reminds me a lot of DaBaby. Like people think DaBaby really only had one rap style. Well, DaBaby was just running that rap style to death because it was working. And that's part of the problem, part of the trappings with success. It's like once something works, if you play it out, then you're played out. You have to know when to pivot. It's the roller coaster effect that Dave Free and Kendrick were talking about at the beginning of Shakespeare and Shakedown, the video I have on this channel. Check it out if you missed it. And I think that happened with Ja Rule. I think he was finding too much success doing this one particular thing, and it became his Achilles heel. And so, but let's see where Ja goes. I don't think necessarily, again, that you have to be either or 50 or Ja. I think when the battle started, it became very easy to pick a side because what Ja had been doing, he had been doing for so long, so consistently, that it started to feel played out, and 50 was the one who actually called him out for it.
Like,
though,
you
don't though.
I'm saying the way fans,
I know how fans see, but you really don't. And at the end of the day, you gotta kind of love both, or you gotta kind of respect both. You don't gotta love both. You gotta respect both. You know what I'm saying? You gotta appreciate both. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. Even in rap competitions and battles and beefs and shit like that. You know, I have a very different take on it than everybody does. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be my take. You know what I'm saying? He has a take on it. That was his take is. My take is unpopular opinion to everybody, but I feel like I was the better rapper. I felt like I.
Let me know in the comment section if you feel like Ja Rule is the better rapper. I can tell you this: 50 had the better diss tracks, without question. And then they also had, the federal case that was going on with Murder Inc. too. So Ja wasn't in the best position to handle the pressure that 50 Cent was putting on him. I mean, 50 Cent, the way that he was coming at so many people, especially on Ghetto Quran, like he was doing stuff that people weren't doing. Like he was explaining the hierarchy of the underworld on a project, on a song in detail with real names. You know what I mean? Like everyone around that time had to be like, and when I say everyone around that time, I mean the other artists are like, yo, this guy over here is going way too crazy. And so I don't think Ja Rule was necessarily prepared for it. But let me know if you think Ja Rule out-rapped 50.
Made the better records. I feel like my records aged better still, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel inside. He has a take on it. That was his take is. My take is unpopular opinion to everybody, but I feel like I was the better rapper. I felt like I made the better records. I feel like my records aged better still, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel.
Feel like his records aged better. I don't know if he's talking about the battle here. I think maybe he's talking about just the overall catalog, perhaps. I don't know if anything is aging better than Go Shawty, It's Your Birthday. I could say that. You know what I mean? I think they both have a lot of great bar and grill raps, though. Right? If you go to like where I was growing up in the South, we used to have like a lot of bar and grills. Like it used to be like a restaurant until like 9:30 p.m. and then they moved the tables and chairs out the way and then they let the DJ play and then now it's like a bar. It's like a bar and grill. Places where you go and you can hear like, Eminem and then Metallica and then Nelly. I think both of them have some really good bar and grill songs, bar and grill raps. But did Ja Rule's catalog age better than 50 Cent's? Let me know in the comment section.
Inside. I don't know how everybody else feels.
My man, Tax Stone, a viral clip when he came in and said, "Not really."
Yeah. Tax is Tax. He feels how he feels or whatever, but people can feel that.
Right.
The reality is, it's whatever you want it to be at the end of the day, because it's all entertainment. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So I'm until it's not.
I think you should like both. That's what I'm saying. I think most same people have grown to be like, I like both of these guys. Yeah. Like they both made music that made my childhood.
You gotta like both.
Yes. Yeah.
Because one is an imitation of the other.
And there we go. This part right here. Ja Rule says that 50 Cent's an imitation of him. Now, I'm gonna let him finish before I opine, but I don't think he's far off.
In a lot of ways.
Explain that a little bit.
Well,
is it because 50 started to sing on his hooks too?
I mean, hey, I didn't say it, you did. But we started this.
100%. Ja Rule was singing for hoes and sounding like the Cookie Monster. And then 50 Cent bait and switched him. Bait and switched that whole thing in his career and started singing for hoes and sounding like the Cookie Monster. Okay, that's a quote. That's the bar from Wanksta, if I'm not mistaken. But that was very easy to peep. He came in, called out Ja Rule for singing too much, and then started singing all the time. They're both school queens. He said, no, I deserve to be here. I think he even talked about that in the 50th Law too. But I don't think Ja Rule is off on that.
So show with talking about how I kind of ushered in that kind of melodic flow, melodic sound. Mm-hmm. I didn't start that shit. There's been no rappers that did it before me. Yeah. You could go into Bone Thugs and Harmony, which they had a very specific sound. For sure. Nobody can do but them. You know what I'm saying? For
sure.
Big facts. 1 second applause to Bone Thugs.
But you can go all the way back to who I give the credit to is Curtis Blow. Mm-hmm. Like he's the first artist that ever sang a whole rap record. You know what I'm saying? So
shout out to Curtis Blow. 1 second applause. I always think about Cold Crush too. This is the way we harmonize. 1 second applause.
He has to get the actual nod for that. But what I say that I created and what I ushered into hip hop is the duet.
Yeah.
There was no, before I did what I did, you would take a rapper and an R&B singer, and their mashup would be rapper sings 16 bars on the singer's record. Mm-hmm. That's it. Or R&B singer sings hook on rapper's record.
Okay.
Never was it I'm Real, where it was
that
great song.
You're on the
lullaby
hook, I'm on the hook. Yeah. She got a verse, I got a verse. We're intertwining on the verses. Mm-hmm. It was never that until I created that. And the only reason why I was able to create that is because I wrote it. Mm-hmm. So I wrote the whole record, so I was able to write myself into these records where you're a young artist, you get the opportunity to write a record or write a record for Jennifer Lopez at the time. It's like, yo, I got to be on this motherfucker. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I got to be on this motherfucker, not just with a verse, you know what I'm saying? I need more. So in writing that record, I put myself in it as much as I could, and that became what people know to be today as the new hip hop R&B mashup. Mm-hmm,
mm-hmm. That's respect, don't it?
Yeah,
but that's what got you. That's what put you right there.
Yeah,
as the middle ground of X and DJ.
Exactly, right. but it also gave me my own lane to take off.
Absolutely, because there wasn't no lane.
Right.
I mean, I'm not mad at what Josh's saying overall right there. I think that definitely falls into perfect bar and grill rap territory. The duet. 1 second applause to that. There's he describes it well, and I think he describes it very fairly here. He's not saying that he invented it. Other people had been doing things, but what he did was he took it to this next level because he was writing both parts, right? I think they mentioned Mary and Method Man, or maybe in my head I heard Mary and Method Man when he's talking about taking an R&B singer and put a rapper on there, and it's two separate songs. But what Ja really did with I'm Real, for example, with J-Lo, a lot of the stuff that happened with Ashanti, Lil Mo, a lot of stuff in his catalog was he was penning all of it. And so that ended up being a very successful, arguably commercial level, groundbreaking addition to this thing of ours. And so, and 50 Cent said, you know what, I too would like to sing for the women and sound like the Cookie Monster. But I don't think Ja Rule is off on this point. Let me know what you guys think about this and what's your favorite Ja Rule album. My name is Justin Hunt. Like and subscribe to the channel. Follow @The Company Man on everything, including the Company Man podcast, where we listen to podcasts. It's all happening.
Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. The mathematical breakdown of this mighty game of rap we in. It's boom dapping. Systematical culture views, it's radical, it's all happening. Shaking hands and dapping it. Life through the lens of hip hop, from trip hop to yes, dog, you don't stop, you don't stop. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening.